You're dead right, Gary, because my mic was off. Do I type stuff here to wreck monetization? 100%, Gary. Yeah, no, so I just go over what I was saying there. I forgot that I had that muted when the intro was coming in. No, look, this is basically more for the Twitch side of people who don't know about my YouTube channel. I just want to try and share what I'm trying to do over there with all the tutorials. Yeah, tonight's one is about the ACCDrive. It's an amazing app, and the reason why I'm doing it is actually down to support of them in the background. If there's any technical issues, they were absolutely outstanding in the ACCDrive Discord, in fairness to them. I just think it's a worthwhile app, and they've been so nice to obviously give me a free copy, or activation key, should I say, to give somebody a free version of, a free premium version of ACCDrive, which is absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I also, over on my YouTube, I've done stuff for Race Labs as well. That's an amazing overlay app, and then inside of that video as well, there's going to be a link for a free month's premium with that, thanks to Race Labs. And then in the comments I left their Discord, if anyone has any issues with the activation of that 1 month premium, give the guys in the Discord a shout and they'll be more than happy to get that set up for you. And I've also done a tutorial as well on Awesome Sim Racing, which for me one of the greatest apps if you're a commentator or a league organizer or someone who makes liveries as well, or just wants to have cool liveries. It's a very simple way. You just upload the livery to this app, you download the app and you just press sync before you go into race, and then everyone's liveries that's uploaded then comes straight up. It's such a super simple thing, and it's a lot better than sharing files as a lot of people do on ACC and ACCDrive. And then the how to make a livery and apply it using armor paint. For me, I think it's actually quite an informative video, although I do go on a bit. I think it's very, very informative. You have a link to where you can buy armor paint if you want to use that. Obviously you can use anything you want to use to create a livery, and I've also set up a Google Drive in there in the description as well, where you get all the meshes for free, including all the new GT cars as well. Thanks very much, mate. Thanks very much, Gary. And Gary, that's typing in over on YouTube, guys. It's if you look up Gary Smith Racing, I think it's GS Sim Racing. And that guy there, look, if you're an ACC driver or sim racer in general, dude has a wealth of knowledge and puts up an awful lot of great stuff as well. So I'd recommend going over to his page and giving him an old subscribe, as well as myself if you're going to jump over to the YouTube. As I say, this stream tonight is actually more based at people on Twitch to try and show you what we were doing over on YouTube. And I'm going to do a watch along. We'll watch the full video. It's only about 20 odd minutes long. None of my videos are majorly long. Most, like the tutorial ones, I think this will be the longest one. There is quite a bit to go through with it. But yeah, other than that, I do throw up an awful lot of shorts on YouTube. And most of my streams, if I'm racing or doing commentary, actually goes into the live section. I'm going to stop doing kind of uploads of races and more just for kind of information or cool bits that I can get done. Then will go up on my uploads. You'll find all my other streams in live. Another thing, if you do come across to YouTube from Twitch as well, like it's quite handy if you're watching a live stream, you can pause it and go and do something, come back and watch from where you left off. Obviously, unlike Twitch, you can't do that. But obviously, I love Twitch as well, and I'll continue running on both platforms. But yeah, it's just to kind of show the people on Twitch who do follow me, because I've quite a few followers on Twitch, just to show you that over on my YouTube, there's actually a few freebies going on, as well as an awful lot of information there. And then yeah, the likes of GS Sim Racing there, just phenomenal. And I'm actually starting another video. I'm going to start a little bit this evening on it, but it's going to take a few days. I'm going to be doing a full kind of walkthrough of how to set up a league in Grid Finder and actually use their new league system, as well as loads of other things. If you're a commentator or there's someone who wants to find another league to race in, Grid Finder's phenomenal. And Tom's been kind enough to say he's going to jump in as well and help me do the intro to the video and kind of tell us how it came about, because I actually remember when Tom was setting this up and it was only a tiny idea back in the mid 2020 it was, around kind of the I would say about July kind of time. And I knew Tom back then and we were discussing what he was doing, so I'm very proud to see what he's done. So looking forward to going through that as well, but that's a different video. But yeah, so I'm hoping that you will enjoy this. The live will be live in about 7 minutes or so. So I'm just going to move into the tutorial video now. As I say, if you come over here, once this goes live, if you leave a comment underneath it, so the best comment is going to win ACCDrive for free on the 1st of 7, 2023. So I'm going to give people a day or two as well. I don't expect loads of people to be on the Thursday night watching, so I want to try and make it fair. So on the 1st of the 7, 2023, I'll be on to pick the winner with that there. Yeah, so it'd be nice to give somebody ACCDrive for free, and if you already have it, it's nice then that you can actually give it to somebody else as well. So even if you already have it, you could pass it on and give it to somebody else. Like I'm sure GS Sim Racing, I think what would be cool for you if you won it, that you'd want to give away on your channel for that, because obviously it's such an amazing bit of kit, like for anybody, as you know yourself, having it. But yeah, should be interesting. I'm going to try and start push YouTube now a little bit, but I want to try and get more informative of what I do in it. Obviously, people know me from doing commentary and racing, and my mouth can run a bit wild sometimes. So I'm going to try and hold back as much as being myself in that kind of way. I'm going to give you as much decent kind of content on YouTube anyway. Of course, on the live streams, you're just going to get the same tomfoolery no matter what. Gary unfortunately got that tomfoolery. Because he is one of the very popular people in YouTube with over 1,000 subs and is doing very well for himself. And unfortunately for him, he was in a live chat with all of us, and there was a few words said that might have hurt his monetization a little bit. But he's seen the funny side of it as well, which is good to see. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully there's good feedback, guys. So if you have any feedback or what you want to see from me next, obviously after the Grid Finder thing, let me know. I'm never going to be the one to start doing how you should drive and do setups and stuff like that, because I'm definitely not fast enough. The likes of Gary is the person for that there. But yeah, hopefully you will enjoy it anyway. listen to that music. Actually good. I'm just looking at the videos there as well. Live events, spa. And I suppose might as well just talk crap while I'm waiting along. If anyone is not racing any of the leagues that we're currently racing in, I'd recommend you join either Amigos, Cerberus or Eleanor. They're the three communities I race in at present, and all top quality, some amazing drivers. Amigos is quite a stacked field, and it's nice and mixed as well. You'll have super fast drivers at the front, of course, that's natural, and then you'll have a great battle in the midsection and even at the back as well. So no matter what your pace is, there's always something there for you. It's the same then in Eleanor, although if don't watch my last live there, because it was just absolute murder twice and I got annoyed and just I didn't race really. I got 5 seconds in the first race and about 1.5 I think in the second. But in general, that's a very, very good league as well, with top blokes as well. There's the African based league. And then Cerberus had a week off last week, so you didn't hear me giving out about that. But they're quite a good league as well. It's always good fun racing them. I think I might do a tutorial as well for anyone who'd be interested in commentary on the likes of the commentary tools that's used. And then on Streamlabs itself is something I'm working on. That's going to take me quite a bit of time because Streamlabs just has so much to offer that that's going to be at least a few weeks in the making as well after I do the Grid Finder one. The good thing about the watch over, I noticed the one thing I missed in the ACCDrive video, but I'll say it over across in the live anyway. Lovely music. So the premiere is in 60 seconds now, it says. So I'm going to get that ready to go into full screen, and I'm actually going to turn off this music just because it's not ruin your head, because I have background music in the actual video as well. So I'm going to turn that down. I don't know what's that, my phone volume is also on a bit. Grand job, so I'll turn that off for now. And then obviously once the stream goes live, I'll go into full screen, guys. Let you enjoy watching it. If you have any questions or anything, let me know. And it should be a bit of fun. I just hope it helps people. That's the main thing. Like the likes of the one for making a livery, I think is great for helping people out that have never made liveries before, and the fact getting the meshes straight away and stuff like that, it's quite nice. Even if you don't buy the software, you still get the meshes, whatever software you do use. Yeah, and RaceLab as well for me is my key go-to for commentary. ACCDrive, I actually use it even when I'm racing now. I use a mixture of a few. It's but ACCDrive for me is phenomenal, especially in the endurance. Gary was saying there as well. The pit stop helper, which is at the end, and I will say thanks to Chris Tedder as well. From Chris Tedder Racing, who actually jumped into a server, and we made like just a server on our own just to make it kind of emulate as if you were in a endurance race, just to show you the driver swap, as well as obviously being able to change all the bits in the pit stop as well for the driver while they're driving. So it makes it very less stressful, especially when you're coming up to the pits. Depending if you're double stinted or more, you could be wrecked, and it's so easy to make a mistake with the standard tool in ACC, to be fair, and I'm sure many people have had a heartbreaking story with that. So just waiting for once this begins, guys. I'm going to shut up unless you want me. You can do it if you want, I don't mind. The live won't get me moderated or content blocked, whatever it is. I'm gonna make you famous, Chris. think that's what's going to happen. Honestly, Chris, thanks very much for doing that yesterday, bro. Definitely appreciate it. Hello guys, welcome to another tutorial, and today we are looking at ACCDrive. It's an amazing app. Now it is a paid app. I'm not sponsored by these, it's just something I've used. One of the lads in one of the communities got me to get it. It's very, very handy for endurance racing, but also there's some other really cool overlays and features with this that I think might be beneficial for people here as well. So let's go through this. So first things first, if you just go on to ACCDrive.com and you can literally go download or buy. It's a one-time payment, as far as I remember, of €25. Yes, there it is. So trust me, it's absolutely unbelievable to use. I'll just run through a few of these features now. I may not be able to show you everything, as I'm not as technically up on this app fully yet as others, but it's something that I just think is such a good app that it's
dead right.
Something we should
and I'm gonna point out there is something I missed, so I'm gonna pause the video in a little bit
one of the owners of this ACCDrive, just to kind of ask them a bit more about what they do. So yeah, so look, basically I'm going to run through obviously the remote pit stops and teammate data, which is amazing if you're doing endurance racing. There's a PSI recommendation, so it recommends what PSI your tires should be at. The fuel calculator is actually very, very good. I've used that even in races myself. The tire data app and all is absolutely brilliant. The live weather countdown is phenomenal. And then yeah, the HUD interface is brilliant. So if you were sick of using the standard ACC one and you haven't used Race Labs, which I've shown in another video, these overlays are absolutely phenomenal as well, and I'm going to run through all of them and show some in-game with the overlays also. So yeah, without further ado, I'm just going to magically to zoom to where we buy it. So I'm even going to show how the app starts up as well. Now that you have it downloaded and paid and you go to log in, first time round it's going to ask for the activation key. I've already done that, so it's going to jump straight by that. So just put in your activation key and get going. So I'll drag this across here. So this is what you're greeted with. Now, so once it's opened up, this is how it looks. You'll see the create session hash, join session hash. This is for if you're doing endurance races and you want your teammates to join in and obviously be able to look after your pit stops. And then I'm going to jump across now to the strategy screen and then the pit prediction over here as well. And now we are on to the strategy screen, and this one is very, very important here. I'm just going to run through this really quickly. So when you're in a race and it's coming near time for your teammate to pit, whether they're doing a double stint or if someone else is changing over into the car, this is where you control this. So you can adjust the fuel, you can bring it up or down, tire set, you can choose what tire set that you're on depending, compound, whether it's getting wet out there or not, you can change that as well. And just throughout the race, if the driver thinks right there's not enough tire pressure on a certain wheel or there's too much in one, you can adjust all of that here as well manually. You can either choose to either fix or don't fix the bodywork or suspension. That's absolutely up to yourself. And there, when you are connected up, which I will show you later on, you can select the driver that you want to be in the car for the next pit stop and then press that. Now the biggest thing I will say is this: before you press apply strategy, make sure your teammate is on a straight, because if they don't use a custom HUD where obviously, or custom overlay where the HUD would be blank in the in-game HUD,
it's going to pop up all the pit stop strategy and fly through it manually, or like on board, like when they're driving, and it's going to just kind of put them off. So make sure to apply this on a straight. So when you press apply and you're connected, you're going to see then that everything loads up, showing that everything's done, and this ready will become green, which means that everything's set up, pit stop is done, it's successfully done and ready to go. Now that's all I've ever really used in the pit strategy. I've never needed the pit prediction because you'd always work that out anyway if you're doing an endurance race or not, and I've never used any of the other features on that one. So we're going to jump over to engineer. So this is more handy for the likes of guys if you want to figure out the fuel that you're on, and you know, if your setup needs a slight bit of tweaking, this is where it's done. It will show the PSI low and high, and then there's an adjust PSI there in the middle, which is always very, very handy. It will show you if you know you need to adjust your pressures up or down slightly. Shows the tire temperatures as well, the brake pads that you're on, so very, very handy, as there is just brake pads 1, 2, 3, 4, as a lot of people know, and it tells you which pads are which. Also, it shows then the likes of damage, so I made sure that there was damage on here just to show you. So it shows that it was only body damage, no damage to suspension. So the overall damage of the car, 9.570 seconds. Total stint I done was 3, just to do a few bits. Now it just shows you the fuel as well that you're using there, the fuel per lap. Reference that auto fuel calculator, I always leave it on. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's so good. Saves you having to worry about, oh, am I over fueling, under fueling. It does it all pretty much on the ball. I've not ever had an issue with it, and it shows like the track record, so the best lap, optimal lap, everything like that. So the optimum was for yourself, the best lap is off the session, quality practice, and then the race. We'll jump on to the next session now, which is telemetry. Now with telemetry, it just has so much data going on. It shows everything that you need to know lap by lap. You can actually go through this. So it shows stint by stint, sector by sector, everything from your high brake temperatures to tire temperatures to tire PSI. Everything shows the wear data as well, which is just unbelievable. Yeah, shows you even the assist, so if you're using TC5, 3, 2, TC2, whatever, and ABS as well, it goes through everything there, and it shows the difference obviously if your temperatures have dropped from the start temperature as it goes through as well. Now with this hot lap, I've never actually used it myself, and it's something I will look into using, and the best people to ask about that would.
This is actually something I need to talk about. I found out what all this is, okay? So you can actually set up, like what I was told was with this here, you can actually set up your TC to change corner by corner, but you can only use this when you're in the hot laps. You can't use it in racing or, you know, in endurance. You can use this literally in hot laps, where you can actually control your ABS, change your ABS or TC corner to corner, and brake balance to get the fastest lap. So to me, if you just want to do hot laps and show off massively, this is a massive tool, and I didn't know this at the time of recording, but yeah, just it's unbelievable. And I'll go back to the video now, but that is such a handy thing for all you fast boys out there.
Be the people in ACCDrive in the Discord they have, where there is a general chat page. I'm sure they're more than happy to go through that with you, other users or even the owners or admins themselves as well. So this is something I've never utilized, and it's something I will try and utilize soon, so I don't really have too much to say on this as of yet. Now we're on to the HUD section, and I'm going to go through this in detail more so on the track. We'll go through that in proper detail in a sec. Now guys, here we are, and we're looking now at the HUD options. So I've turned everything on to always visible, and with the radar I'm going to turn that on because that's a very
another note here guys, really quickly. The always visible is very handy to have on, but I would turn the always visible off when you're actually doing endurance of that, because it'll keep the yellow flags will only show up when it should show up. So it does kind of pull out, and that doesn't need to be up there off until it needs to be showing up. So that's just another thing.
Very handy thing to have. Now I have it set here right underneath kind of where the steering is, and with that there you can show the distance of front and rear, and of course side by side is at 15. Obviously you want the side by side one to give you accurate measurements to where the cars are. Next things up, we'll have the flag calculator, and this is brilliant because this will show you the distance to when you're coming into a red flag zone or yellow flag zone, when there's a car off the track, and you know, it gives you kind of that bit of information, especially if you're coming into a mixture of corners and the likes of Spa here going into sector 2. There's corner after corner. It's always good to know exactly where the car is off, so very, very handy tool. Then the tire app for me is absolutely brilliant. I'm going to turn that on here now. So this one here obviously shows the weather and degrees. It shows the live PSI, front and rear. It shows then the brake temperatures, the brake wear percentage as well. So that's very, very handy if we're doing endurance. Also shows the wheel slip as well and everything else. It's absolutely a phenomenal little bit of information to be having on screen. The damage as well also I think is very, very good. So this damage here shows for each individual corner for suspension and the sides and front for damage, so it gives you a very, very accurate look at where the damage is. So then you'd see if there's 1% damage or 2% damage, a bit of the suspension, you can kind of understand how to drive the car, if it's drivable without pitting, etc. Next thing is the lap time info, which I'll turn on there now. Always a very, very handy thing to have as well. So I'm just going to pop that down here for now and actually move these down a bit to make it cleaner looking. And with that then, this shows the best lap, last lap predicted, and the stint timer as well, to see like obviously how much you have done so far on your stint. This is always very handy if you're in an endurance where, you know, the stint timer for a driver may be 60 minutes, maybe 65 or whatever else. You can know when you need to pit. Next thing up, the track map is quite a nice looking thing as well. So I normally pull the track map over there, and this shows then, yeah, loads of information there as well. So that's us sitting in the pits there as well. And with that, yeah, you have the pit prediction turned on as well. Scale, that's up to yourself how big or small you like it. That's a personal preference, but it's nice that you can adjust this as well. Next thing up then we have is info. So this information tool here is absolutely brilliant. So this will give you the exact time that you have a damage, the time there, optimal kind of lap time as well, the fuel stint as well. So that's very, very handy as well, that if you're in an endurance or even in a normal race and you're kind of thinking, oh, you know, will I have enough fuel to go to the end? That's when we come back to this here, because the fuel calculator will show exactly what we've calculated up there, which I'll show now in a minute. Next thing up is the standings. So I'll turn the standings on, and that's a beautiful looking standings compared to the standard game. I'll jump into a online lobby as well near the end just to show it with a lot more in it. But yeah, like it gives you some great information there. The stint timer, car number. Now the ELO rating, you don't really need that in there if you don't want to do. LFM safety rating you could turn off as well. Obviously I'm useless, so I won't have either. But yeah, with this, look, scale as well, you can resize this to how big you want it, how small you want it. That's all a personal preference as well. Cars ahead, I'd always put this to 5 just to give you a nice full view of what's going on. Pit information, also another great tool. So this is more when you're coming in to get that pit box just right. I don't know, I'm just going to put that here for now. But that there obviously will show you the speed that you're doing coming into the pits and the meters you are off that pit box and where you are in line with the pit box. So it's very, very handy. Next thing, session information. We'll turn that on. Obviously we can make that go a lot smaller. We won't need as much data. It shows the fastest lap.
Thank you, Baz. That's very nice.
So a very, very handy thing. I'm just going to pop that, actually arrange this while we're on the video. So I'm going to put that like that and then that like that, because you're not going to notice that too much. And inputs, this is more for the technical minded. If you want to see your inputs or show off your inputs, you can have that there. I'll use that now in a few minutes. And obviously you can scale that how big, how small you want it as well. And then a G-force meter, also quite a cool thing to have. I'm going to leave that up the top, kind of out of eye line there. And that's just more for a bit of fun, more than anything else. And then to lock everything in place, then it's just a matter of flicking on lock all hoods, and you have them then locked in place. So at least that way you won't be dragging and kind of pulling everything all over the place. As well, then there's a bit more of the settings there. You can go through it, but I won't go through too much of that right now. So what we'll do then, I'm going to jump out of this and we're going to jump into an online lobby, and then I'll turn back on the view as we have. So I'll be back in 1 second. Now that we're in game here, guys, you're going to see now with all the extra drivers on it, all the extra information on the standings over here, along with the stint timer running. 20th out of 22nd, obviously I've joined a random lobby. Pit exit low, grip optimum. So it's showing all the information, and the track shows all the positions with the live information of where they are on track, which is also very handy. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go through everything here with yourself really quick. I'm just going to go out and do a lap just to try and get some telemetry up here as well. So I'm just going to do a lap, but also just before we do that, I'm just going to move this out of the way just to show you, if you are racing in this game, I would always recommend is just removing the game HUD while you're racing. So once you've everything here, it looks very, very busy. So I just press F2 and put that on blank, just so it's a lot cleaner looking now. So it solely has the information you want. Now, obviously, I've noticed there that I do have this out of place a little bit. Obviously, you can adjust that and make it all fit in. So I do have the yellow flag just a little bit out of place. We'll just show track cuts as well, which is also very, very handy while you're in the race. And then, of course, the drop in temperature. So it was at 34 degrees, it's gone down to 27, so it shows the drop in the temperature also, which is absolutely brilliant to see. So in my next part of this now, I'm just going to do a lap just to show you the telemetry that comes up as well. So we'll be back in a jiffy. Just before I actually do go to show you the telemetry on the actual lap, just on the game now, you're going to see the incidents 10. So I'm after doing a few silly things just to get up all the stuff. You'll see track cuts is at 1. You're going to see then at the very top, you see the track cuts there. You see the optimal time of 132, best of 129.8, damage 9 seconds. Shows that it's only frontal damage, and then on the left hand side there's 58% damage, so it shows where the damage is coming from as well. You'll see the brake wear, there's only 1% in them. Yeah, so look, honestly guys, it has so much information from that point of view in it. I'm going to jump into the main app now and just go through the data that's picked up, and I'll talk to you in a second. So you can see here then the stint time, so 5 minutes and 45 seconds. I run a few laps on it. Used fuel, 8.68 litres used, which is only 2.18 per lap. And the track temp has actually dropped a little bit since we were on it. And each lap then you'll see the difference in the brakes high. So the brake was very high there. Peak high there, 811 degrees, 771, and it shows the likes of a loss in tyre pressures as well throughout the lap. Shows all difference in tyre temps as well, and as of course brake temperatures. And then it shows then each sector, which was your fastest sector, what speed you're doing, your average speed, all that kind of stuff through it, and you'll see the differences there, so it is quite accurate. Yeah, other than that then, yeah, the engineer stuff is there, but hasn't asked me to adjust PSI or anything like that. It says the highest PSI 27.9, 27.04. So there's an awful lot of that, like information this that I would absolutely tell you is it's someone beyond me that can understand a lot of it. But the great news is with ACCDrive as well, I'm going to show you in a second, if you ever have an issue with it or if you ever need to know anything, they actually have an open Discord that you can join and ask questions and get help as well. So I'd always recommend that also. And speaking of the Discord, I'm just jumping onto it here now just to show you. So you'll be welcomed in. I'll leave a link for the Discord, a link for the website, and of course anything else in the description for up this video for you to join up. So when you join in, like, they do announcements the whole time. There's always updates that are done as well. They even have, I think, a German section to talk in. You've got your general one there, even feature suggestions, so they do listen back to people as well. Bugs feedback, if there's any bugs they sort it out straight away. Common issues, if there is anything, go in there, press and force, you might have the answer in there. Yeah, so look, honestly, these are absolutely brilliant. I would 100% recommend it. So before I go, I'm going to show you how the pit stop works. I'm going to get the help of a driver now in a minute, and we'll go from there. So here we are, guys, with Chris Tedder from Chris Tedder Racing, and the owner of Amigos is going to do a hot lap and then do a pit stop while I actually operate then the ACC tool, which I'm going to put over here as well. So Chris, how are you doing? Well, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. Yeah, all good, all good.
As you said, you might win this race, so I'm going to set up the pit stop now while you're driving around, and it's good to see you're using the ACCDrive overlays as well.
Yeah, we've gone to an external view just to show the car, but I thought it was good to show other aspects of the ACCDrive that I use on a daily basis.
Absolutely, and yeah, you use probably 4 or 2 of the things that I use mainly, which is all the fuel stints. And it's nice to see you use the fuel calculator as well as the tyre information that it offers.
Yeah, I find the weather part great on the tyre to actually give you an idea of rain level from light, medium, heavy. It's a great indicator of just how wet the track is.
Yeah, no, it's a super handy tool. Obviously, there's loads more in this I wouldn't have a clue about. For yourself as well, like you do an awful lot of endurance events, this tool that we're about to showcase is probably one of the biggest keys as well to having like a hassle-free race.
Yeah, for me, it's a must-have for the team. It makes life a lot easier in terms of working out tyre pressures. Just the fact that the driver doesn't have to be the person changing pressures, fuel, driver. It's so easy to make mistakes when you're the person actually doing the driving.
Yeah. Now the biggest key here as well when applying strategy, we're going to do this on this trace. So around this corner, are you okay if you press apply strategy?
Yeah, go for it.
And as you see on the left, it automatically does all the work while you're driving around. And that's the reason why it's always key to have this done before or on a straight, so you're not getting distracted during the corner. So Chris is going to go into the pits now.
Just need to change driver comp.
I'm not definitely. Oh, I can change driver as well. Sorry, I'll apply that really quick. So I'm going to change the driver to me to take over.
There we are.
And just to showcase that, you just literally go there and choose. Yeah, it's a super handy app, and I really do appreciate you coming in just to showcase this off. And once this pops across, then we know it's done and dusted. So the car stops then for 30 seconds. This is always the fun part of the race, Chris, isn't it?
Yeah. We make sure you count down. Let your driver coming in know. It makes life a little bit easier.
Oh, 100%. And it's always nice when you know you've finished your stint.
Yeah, definitely. Depends how long you've done. I think I've done a 3-hour stint the other day at Watkins Glen, for example.
And Chris, just obviously before we finish up this part of the video, would you like to tell other people about what you do on your YouTube? Because obviously you're very active on YouTube as well.
Yeah, I put a lot of videos in, either recordings of races, lots of shorts. I've done some track guides in there, just some helpful videos in terms of just stuff I use or what I'd recommend within ACC. So it's ACC dominant. There's some AMS2 in there as well.
Very true. So, and also you do an awful lot of track guides, if I remember right.
Yeah, I've got some track guides in there. I've got about 11 or 12 in there now. So it's just about the track guides were. There's a lot of aliens who do track guides, and I find people can't relate to what they do. So what we tried doing is try giving them that sort of in-between step. So a time that's sort of stretched but feasible to go and achieve.
No. Making
it sort of understandable for them, you know, on the braking, turning, stuff that they feel like they could actually do. Where I think sometimes when you were watching some of these track guides, you look at the times they're doing, you just can't relate to it. You can't brake where they're braking. You can't achieve what they're doing to get them lap times.
Oh, 100%. And what I love to see is the fact that you, as a person who does so much YouTube and runs a league, uses this app as well that we all love. And that's the reason why I'm doing this. Obviously, it's not a sponsored video. But by the way, Chris, I suppose now is the time the video will announce. We're actually doing a free giveaway. They're actually, after being polite enough to give us one subscription for somebody, so even whether you have it or not or don't have it, just comment below the funniest comment. And Chris, if you don't mind, we're going to do a video on the 1st of July. I'd like you to come in and actually pick the winner, if that's okay.
That's fine. Yeah, that'd be great.
Brilliant. And they get a free copy of ACCDrive, which can't go wrong, and you can either gift it to someone and use it yourself.
Look at that, eh?
That's it. Well, look, come here, Chris. Thank you so much. And guys, I'm actually going to end the video here as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll leave all the links for ACCDrive, for Chris Tedder, for all your stuff, for Amigos Discord if you want to join in a racing league, or your YouTube page. Definitely go over, give him a subscribe, like, follow, do whatever you need to do. He does amazing shorts as well, guys. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.
Yep, thank you.
No, guys, and that was pretty much that. I'm going to run through Chris's YouTube now as well, then as my own. And look, don't forget, drop a comment, because the biggest thing here is once you put a comment in, you could be winning yourself a copy of ACCDrive for free. Just going back to my channel there. So just go in there, go straight down to tutorial, and then go into it. I'm going to jump over. So this is Chris Tedder's page. This was the driver who was in giving me a hand in the video. By all means, go over and give this man a sub. And look, he's got honestly some amazing and great content over there as well, with some weird pictures of himself as well. But that's actually from our podcast. So I definitely would as well. And then I want to shout out to GS Sim Racing as well. I don't know why he's not up in the top ones there, but we'll get him here. So this is Gary's YouTube. He's 1.19k subscribers, 172 videos. He's got some amazing views, but he gives some great information as well. So definitely give him a shout as well. And if you want to hear my beautiful voice when I'm doing commentary as well, guys, jump over here to SimSport Race International. I do jump in and give a hand with commentary every now and then, and there's a huge team that works up over there between, I think there's 8 or 9 different commentators there that all give hands out. Some great admin, and look, the community over there is amazing as well. But yeah, jump over to my YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube. As I say, now there's 4 tutorials up there now. I'm going to be working on the one for Grid Finder starting tomorrow, and I will have the CEO and co-founder of Grid Finder, Tom, coming in for a chat as well in that video. Yeah, thanks for watching this. So anyone, this live was mainly for people on my Twitch. Come over to my YouTube page, get involved over there. There is a giveaway, so comment. And then there's obviously other free bits on my other videos as well, guys. So thanks very much for tuning in.